Hey guys, welcome to Tech with Giordi. I'm Giordi, and today we're going to be looking at some of my first coding projects, how I built them, what technologies I used, and what I learned along the journey. So I hope this is super helpful for you if you are getting started, learning web development. So let's go. Cool. So this is like some of the projects that I worked on in 2018 when I was getting into coding and stuff like that. So they're not like very polished, but they do showcase some HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript, which is what I was learning at the time. So I'll show you some examples. Some of them I used at Coding Bootcamp, which I would probably do more like in-depth video of the actual tasks that we did at Coding Bootcamp. Um, and some of them, as you will see, are just like some fun projects that I worked on as well. So this is just like my old portfolio. So I'm going to just run you through the projects I worked on, how about them, really, what I learned, what I wanted to, what I was aiming to learn or gain from the experience, that sort of thing. So first things first, excuse me, this project here is someone's portfolio. So his name is John Creighton. He's actually a photographer and then front end engineer at Spotify. He's based in New York, and he has a really cool portfolio. I'll show you guys in the next slide, but we basically built that. I use like CSS grids. This is what I so that was a coding bootcamp project, and this one is something I did like just when I learned HTML and CSS. Just like build Google's landing page. Pretty cool. This is the first original um this is my first like actual coding project or assignment. It's a tip calculator. So what it does is it basically takes like an amount, like your total amount, says like, okay, how much did you spend for the bill? And then you can rate the service you got. So if it was like excellent, you're gonna give a 30% tip. So you select 30%. If it's okay, you select 10%. And then we just calculate like the percentage of the total amount, and then yeah, something like that. And then there's an MDN guessing game, which is basically like a guessing game with some interactivity. So there's a number that the computer guesses, and you need to try to guess what that number is, basically. And then this is just Netflix landing page, pretty cool, and that's my old portfolio. So yeah, I'm going to go into each of them, show you, walk you guys through some of them, stuff like that. Um, yeah. Cool. So this is the first project that I had from bootcamp. As you can see, this is John Creighton's landing page. So look, I haven't opened this in a while, so you can see it's a bit skewed to the other side, but we can fix it. We can just edit the CSS and maybe just justify the items center and something like that. So I'm gonna just quickly just inspect element, play around with the code, change it up a little bit, see if I remember what's happening there. So what I'll do is I'll just do display flex. That should change the view. Then what I want to do is I want to do flex direction column, and then now I can do justify content center and align items. I'm live coding there. Cool. So that's an example of some just a small tweak I had to make. I think I've got to update the code. And yeah, I really like this because this portfolio is really cool. It's lean, it's minimal. Like the layout is really amazing. Black and yellow, a very good color, as Wiz Khalifa told us. A good combination, black and yellow. And I think it's like based on like a New York Times. So what we'll do is let me actually scroll down and show you guys some of the articles. So Obama at the time, 2018. So I think Obama was still president. I'm not sure. Um, as you could see, it looks very cool. I think actually, yeah, you could see you can click on them. It takes you elsewhere, but it's okay. This page doesn't exist. As you can see, there's some photography there that John Clayton does, and some music. This was 2018. Yeah, so this is the like I really like this project. So we're basically using CSS here, and CSS, if you don't know, is basically cascading style sheets. It's a styling language, so it helps you change the colors of the content on the website. So we'll learn more about it as we go. But yeah, CSS makes colors. It highlights things. It gives it life. It brings life and substance to our website, which is pretty cool. So all of the colors and stuff you're seeing is all CSS here, and we're also using a layout called grid, CSS grids, to lay out this in this way, like in like a grid format. Like looks like a collage type of thing where you have like columns and stuff like that, and some gaps, which is pretty cool. I'm actually using Flexbox, which is another way to align items to center my stuff because it's quite easy to do. So this is the first one from Bootcamp. Pretty cool. Cool. So this is the tip calculator. Yeah, this is the first like programming assignment I think I did. So again, this just like takes the bill total and it then just like calculates the tip that you're going to give. So if you just put in like $100, for example, and you can say the service was okay. I think bad is maybe not the best word here because it is 10%. Um, and then you can just say like it was one person. What it would do, it will just calculate the tip amount that you need to give based on the total. So this is something simple. As you can see, the again, it's not very polished. I did do this a long time ago, but this is an example of like a project that like encapsulates every single concept that you will learn. You know, which is pretty cool. And the background image, I don't know what happened to it. I think it just disappeared. We'll fix that. This was the next project I worked on. I really like this because at the time I think Netflix, I think was still new in South Africa at least, was still getting into it, and I like this because I think this is how the website actually looked at the time. Obviously, there's no way for us to prove it now because it's like 7 years later. But trust me, this is how the page used to look in 2018. If my math is correct, 7, 8 years, um, maybe six. And yeah, so this is just simple landing page, Netflix, sign in, what. Again, we're just using some images, as you can see, some images, some text. We just try to use Netflix's colors and the images and stuff like that. Landing page, pretty cool. We're using like CSS. I think yeah, I'm using Flexbox. Just again to lay out the content. If you check, uh, am I using? I'm using Flex. Yes, I'm using Flexbox. Yeah, yeah. Again, that's just how to lay out content. Very simple, straightforward landing page. I really like this because it's pretty cool. Yeah, we can move on to the next item. So, lastly, I'm going to just show you a calculator app that we built. Something as simple as this. Yeah, so you can exit it and then 9 times 2. As you can see, I wanted to end off with a nice, elegant, and pretty designed application like the calculator app. And yeah, because this kind of encapsulates again like um, everything that you can learn using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you can build. So thank you for joining. Today I just wanted to walk through some of my old projects, and we're going to be looking at some other projects in the future and in detail. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you would like considering I am going through like my coding bootcamp journey and stuff like that. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you in the next episode.